The Eastern Cape Provincial Government has welcomed the decision by President Cyril Ramaphosa to put some areas under tightened restrictions. The province has, in the past few weeks, experienced a sharp resurgence of COVID-19 infections in major municipalities. The Nelson Mandela Metro is one of the areas where the provincial government will have to work to curb further spread. Joining us is Mvusiwekhaya Sicwetsha, spokesperson for the Eastern Cape Office of the Premier. Very good morning to you, sir. Thank you for your time. You, as a province, wake up with more stringent measures in place. What's your immediate response?
Thank you for having us. Good morning to your viewers. Look, when we engaged national government on this, we already had started putting some of those measures in place. We have more police visibility to ensure that everyone in the public transport is wearing a mask. We ensure that in communities, people who go to the shops, they enter those shops within the infection control measures. We are also working with the tavern owners and the liquor industry to ensure compliance of customers in the entire sector. We are putting in place, we are beefing up our health systems to deal with mass testing, to respond to cluster outbreaks, to educate people about this virus. So you have a lot of partnership between provincial, local government and private sector to reach out to as many people of the province as you can so that we save more lives.
As a province, you're going to be holding your weekly meeting, I understand, today. What will form the agenda of this meeting as you sit and get underway with it?
It's the implementation of these, the speedy implementation of these decisions that were communicated by the president last night to make sure that as we get closer to the end of the year, we know that people will be traveling. We know that more people will be at home as they close down. And we know that it's a holiday season. We need to encourage the people of our province to play their role so that they protect themselves and protect their neighbors. When we do that, we can even protect the tourism sector of our province, because people who are going to travel need to adhere to safety. Issues of ulwaluko are going to come in that meeting in terms of how do we ensure safety of both young boys and the people that are working with them throughout the process of ulwaluko.
And you know, as the president has said that that process can indeed get underway, what are some of your concerns as you sit as a province ahead of this decision being made?
Our concerns are that when people do illegal process, they don't adhere to regulations, and we enforce them. Once we pick up illegal initiation schools or amaboma, we dismantle them, because at the moment, before the president's decision, it was illegal, and anything that would come up now, it will have to adhere to regulations. So today's meeting is going to finalize how we're going to implement those. At the heart of this whole process is to ensure that we don't lose Abakweta during this season. And we for that to happen, we are emphasizing the importance of the roles and responsibilities of families, because ulwaluko is a responsibility of families. It's not a responsibility of government. But because there is a pandemic and there were deaths in the entire process, government came in to save lives. And we want to say to families that are planning to take their children through ulwaluko that they must be there. They need to make sure that their children are safe. They should not allow overcrowding emabhomeni. They should not allow anyone whom they don't know, who has not tested, to be near Abakweta, because those reckless things are going to cause a lot of problems. We want to work with everyone to save lives of these young boys.
And the province has also dealt with some criticism from opposition parties like the DA saying that one of the reasons why there's been such a surge of COVID-19 cases in the Eastern Cape is because of a lack of a stable local government at municipal level. What would you say to that?
Now, there's no truth in that dramatic statement by the DA, because we've been working with all municipalities, including municipal council that is led by the DA. I mean, if you were to listen to their argument, they should have said the same thing when numbers are flaring up in the Western Cape and in other parts of the country. The reason we're seeing the spread of infection, it is because of human behavior. Once we change human behavior, as we did between August and early November, we had low numbers of infections in our province. We have high numbers because people are behaving as if, since we're in level 1, there is no COVID. COVID is still here. We will only relax when COVID is gone. But while COVID is here, we must all of us be safe. We must all of us behave in a responsible manner. And wearing a mask is not about stable or unstable local government. Wearing a mask is a personal responsibility that each of us must adhere to. So whenever political leaders and people in positions of authority go to the media, they need to speak responsibly. They should not make statements that are not going to help the people of our province deal with the virus.
And are you confident that during this COVID-19 process that you have ensured that at government level that you have provided the PPE, the sufficient PPE? I mean, a few months ago, we heard of horror stories coming out of some of the hospitals in the Eastern Cape on PPE access and the manner in which the virus is spreading because of a lack of PPE.
Look, let me take you back, if you allow me to, if you can indulge me.
I will.
When the virus pandemic started, you had a global shortage of everything, every PPE item that you need. I mean, in the U.S., where some of these companies are headquartered, you had a problem of ventilators. There were no ventilators there. You had a shortage of N95s and all that. And information from science at the time was that we were not focusing on mask wearing, on the public wearing masks. Masks were only for patients and healthcare workers. So the evolution of supply chains meant that we also benefited because now we could procure more PPE for our health facilities. Remember, we had PPE, the basic PPE that a hospital or a clinic requires. But because COVID came, we needed to up our quantities. And in all these health facilities, we have PPE, and we will continue buying as we deplete our stocks. We'll continue adding more resources in those. The reason government is doing this, it is because we want to make sure that no health worker is exposed to infection. We have said where there are problems, those problems must be reported because we don't want to have health workers exposing themselves to infection.
And very lastly, before we let you go, how will you ensure that you continue to align with national government decisions, especially as I know that Eastern Cape Premier Oscar Mabuyane had expected that had wanted the closing of beaches and public areas and COVID-19 hotspots. The beaches have not been closed. What are your concerns around there when it comes to that specific decision?
Much as they have not been closed, I think national government is still looking into the matter. What we're going to do in the process is to enforce compliance in the beaches, where we're going to make sure that the numbers that are in every beach at a given time are limited to the regulated numbers. Everyone who is there is wearing a mask so that we avoid infection. But the bigger problem here is around community safety. We need to protect ourselves as the people of this province. So the main focus for the province is not just going to be the metro. We'll have more on the metro, but we're going to look at other communities in the province because we need to monitor data in terms of infection trends and be able to respond on the spot in those communities. So that's the work that we're doing with local government leadership and national government, because we're working with national because we're implementing the national strategy and we're enjoying the good support from the Minister of Health and other global organizations, the World Health Organization. Same support that is given to other provinces. So we're appreciating that, and we're saying all these measures can be implemented. But if the people of our province are not complying with infection control, we are not going to score the victories that we want to score. Mm-hmm. These victories are about each and every person protecting themselves and saving their lives and protecting their neighbors, protecting their community. So everyone in the Nelson Mandela Metro, we are here to support you. We are here to work with you. Premier Mabuyane and MECs are going to be in the metro next week to work with you on a number of things, or adhere to law enforcement. If you don't have to go outside your house, stay there. Make sure that when you leave your house, you wear your mask, you adhere to all these infection controls to protect your life.
Very well. Thank you so much for your time. That was the Eastern Cape office of the Premier's Mvusiwekhaya Sicwetsha speaking there and getting some reaction about the COVID-19 measures that were announced by the President last night.